Central Oregon Daily News with David Clue, Genevieve Rayon, and Chief Meteorologist Darrell Wenninger. Central Oregon Daily News starts now.
The record-breaking heat wave in Oregon has now turned deadly. Thanks for joining us. I'm Genevieve Rayon.
And I'm David Clue. According to multiple news stations in Portland, 6 deaths have been reported. This on the other side of the Cascades, but every corner of the state is experiencing this sweltering heat.
And with any tragic losses in our community, we turn our focus on preventing further deaths and by helping people beat this heat over the next few days of this excessive heat event.
There are a number of cooling centers all across the high desert. You can look on our website at centraloregondaily.com or call 211 to get connected and find your nearest cooling center.
Darrell, you've been tracking the triple-digit temperatures across our region closely. I know we are right on that line of hitting the highest temperature of the year today in Redmond, and it seems like in the last hour or so we did that.
Yeah, some of those later numbers came in, and Redmond right now is sitting at 105 degrees. In fact, most of the Tri-County area in the triple digits, save the east slopes of the Cascades, but even LaPine earlier got up into triple digits. But look at Warm Springs, 110. We have 105 in Madras and Redmond, 103 in Prineville, 104 in Bend at the airport, and 101 degrees in Paulina. On top of that, when we look outside, there is some cloud cover, but just a little bit, not too much of it. Now, high temperatures so far, we've broken a record in Bend, Redmond, Madras, Prineville, tied a record in Sun River, and Paulina and LaPine also got into triple digits, but Warm Springs got to 110 degrees as that high. We still have an excessive heat warning and a heat advisory that are in effect for the Tri-County area. On top of that, it's extremely dry. It's breezy at times. There's a red flag warning all the way through the day tomorrow as well. And just here through this evening, we have triple digits going through 7 p.m. And then we dip into the 80s for the rest of this evening. I'll have the rest of your most reliable forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Darrell, thank you. We hear it all the time. It's, some hot enough to fry an egg on a sidewalk. Kind of cliche, but yeah, it is.
It definitely is. But I'm not really in the mood for breakfast for dinner.
You're not?
So
what are you in the mood for?
How about some dessert instead? That's right. We have a tray of cookie dough on a baking sheet in one of our news cars right now. And here's a look. You can see it is 131 degrees in that car right now. Half of those cookies have been in there since 2:30 this afternoon, the rest since 4 p.m. So if this all works, not quite sure, but if it does, we'll be trying our car cookies live on the air at the end of our broadcast.
Yeah, the recipe, of course, calls for 350-degree oven, but we'll see how long it takes to cook at
130 for 5 hours?
135, whatever.
Low and slow.
Yeah.
Low and slow, as Darrell says. All right, we'll see.
Well, for those braving the heat outside, the shade is, of course, crucial, but how helpful is it really?
We sent our Peyton Thomas out to see if the shade really comes with any relief in this intense heat.
With temperatures in the triple digits for most of Central Oregon, if you're going to be outside, it can be really important to stay in the shade. But just how important? Well, I have this infrared thermometer that tells me this asphalt to my right is about 150 degrees Fahrenheit, while this shaded part to my left is just under 100 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, guys, so this is an infrared thermometer here. It's going to tell us exactly what the ground temperature is here in the sunshine and then in the shade on this path. How big of a difference do you think it's going to be?
Probably like 98. In the shade, I'm going 89.
I think it's going to be 100 to 101 in the sun, and I think in the shade, maybe 93.
95 degrees Fahrenheit on the asphalt, and then in the shade, I'm going with 90 degrees.
I think probably 15 degrees cooler. The shaded surface versus the sunny surface.
96.4 in the shade.
73.5 in the shade.
Oh, 133.8.
Oh, not even close.
You guys probably don't want to walk on that in bare feet too long.
No, I would not advise taking your dogs for a walk. Wow. Did not expect that. I had a solid 5 degrees.
What have you guys done to get outside but also kind of stay cool?
Hanging out on the river. We just went and bought a stand-up paddleboard and the inner tube.
Yeah, eat ice cream, get out, and enjoy the warmth while we have it.
Somewhat comfortable if you know how to manage it, so that's why we're here in the river.
Now, the opposite of some of these scorching hot land temperatures is probably the Deschutes River. By my quick scan, just under 60 degrees, and probably where I'd be if I wasn't here talking to you. In Bend, Peyton Thomas, Central Oregon Daily News.
Yeah, if you're going to jump in the river, it's 60 degrees. Today is the hottest day of the summer so far, but like Darrell showed us, that may not be saying too much as temperatures remain in the 90s for the foreseeable future. For that reason, cooling shelters are set up all across the high desert for those without a cool place to go. That being said, shelters like Shepherd's House are now asking for donations, especially bottled water.
Our most at-risk community has issues with dehydration just on a normal basis, let alone having access during times where it could end up being like a life or death situation.
And you can drop off those donations at the shelter location in Bend on Division Street, also the location in Redmond just off of Highway 97.
At the fire season now, these hot temps making firefighter work even more challenging. But on the McCaffrey fire burning near Powell Butte, good news. Containment jumped big time in the past 24 hours. It's now 75% contained. It remains at just shy of 500 acres.
Moving to Jefferson County now, fire crews responded to 5 separate fire incidents yesterday. Each incident happened one after another, with crews getting notified during one fire that another had just started. 3 of these fires were in the brush and 2 were structure fires. The 5 fires range from 1/10 of an acre to 2.5 acres. Thanks to multiple agency responses, all fires were stopped and under control pretty quickly. However, 2 structures were damaged.
And today between Sisters and Redmond off Highway 126, another brush fire, you may have seen it. Firefighters stopped this fire at just about an acre. Tonight they are continuing those mop-up operations.
In the meantime, if you have an air conditioning unit that might need some repairs right now, you may have to wait a little while. Last night, our Steele Haugen visited Diversified Heating and Cooling, which says it's about a 2-week wait now for a service call.
Our techs they're pretty much going 10 to 12 hours a day, on the weekends as well. But I think pretty much all the heating and cooling companies here are probably in the same boat.
Now, if you are on a wait list to get your air conditioning up and running once again, here are a few tips you've likely heard before from Diversified to help you keep your house as cool as possible in this heat. Open your windows at night when the temperatures are their coolest and break out the fans to keep the air at least moving through the house.
Pacific Power is also chiming in to help you handle the heat wave. This advice is meant to help reduce the strain on energy during peak times. Too much pressure on the grid can lead to widespread outages. The power company suggests you limit energy use at night between 5 and 9 and try to keep your central air conditioning at 78 degrees. Also, turn off other appliances that you aren't using, lights, TVs, and other non-essentials to conserve electricity.
And of course, we've been talking a lot about how the heat is affecting us, but it's also having a major impact on our pets.
Animals, especially dogs, do need their exercise, but it can be difficult to do that safely as we experience these record-breaking temperatures. Central Oregon Daily's Colby Ennebrad spoke to dog owners and a veterinarian today about how you can keep your furry loved ones safe. So, Colby, different vet clinics we spoke to today fortunately have not seen many heat-related illnesses so far, or they didn't see them last week. But Bend police say that they have had an influx of reports regarding dogs locked in cars.
Yes, Genevieve, I'm told they've received 18 calls in just the last 4 days. While those dogs turned out to be okay, veterinarians want to remind all dog owners to remember leaving them in your car can be deadly. On one of the hottest days of the year, dog owners trying to keep their furry friends safe.
I walk him across that, yeah, always. Keep him on the grass as much as I can. Yeah, there's times he gets into the concrete, but and the asphalt, but you just got to get him off it as soon as possible.
All dog owners know their pets need exercise. That can be difficult when temperatures hit the century mark.
I take them here every day. Right now, when it's really hot, about 1 o'clock, it's or earlier. And so I walk around, we go from shade to shade, and then they're satisfied.
In the last 4 days, Bend police have responded to 18 calls regarding dogs locked in a vehicle, all of them turning out to be okay, but veterinarian Dr. Crystal Bloodworth says it can only take a few minutes for that to become fatal.
Just rolling down the windows on a hot day like today is not going to be enough, even for just a quick 5-minute in and out. So really just leave your dog at home if they cannot be with you when you're going to run your errands or do your activities. It's really just not appropriate to have them in a car at this heat.
Internal car temperatures heat up to 20 to 40 degrees warmer than it is outside in just 10 minutes. Symptoms for heat exhaustion for dogs include excessive panting. Extreme cases can lead to seizure, foaming out the mouth, or passing out. Older dogs, overweight dogs, and dogs with shorter snouts such as pugs and bulldogs are the most at risk in this excessive heat. As for anyone who leaves a pet in their car or another potentially fatal situation, it can constitute as animal neglect, which is a criminal charge. David, back to you at the desk.
Colby, thank you for that. A Madras woman has pled guilty now to first-degree murder in Jefferson County. Paige Vandersdal has admitted to shooting her ex-husband, Divine Briggs, several times in December of 2022. Court documents say she and Briggs were in the middle of a custody battle for their 6-year-old son. Because she chose the plea deal, the state will recommend a 17-year sentence, which is much less than the minimum 25-year mandatory sentence for murder.
Back in Deschutes County, a not guilty plea. This coming from 26-year-old Dante Seegers. His brother is accused of shooting and killing 33-year-old Taylor Wise outside of Duda's bar in downtown Bend last year. Dante is accused of helping his brother escape the state. He is facing 5 years in prison and is scheduled to go to trial in January of next year.
The Santiam Pass Ski Lodge is one of 11 historic properties in Oregon getting state money for preservation projects now. The grant comes from the Oregon Heritage Division of Oregon Parks and Recreation. The lodge is listed on the National Register of Historic Places already, making it a valuable property to the state, worth preserving for years to come.
And federal funds going to the Crooked River watershed for project development. Senators Ron Wyden and Jeff Merkley announced almost $300,000 from the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation. The intention of this federal money is to reduce pollination and enhance water quality in the region.
After the big change to Highway 97 in the northern part of Bend, many have been asking the question of whether ODOT will now put up barriers just north of Cooley to stop drivers from making those dangerous U-turns back to Bend. ODOT says that's not an option because doing so would restrict access to local business. It also tells us this would not stop the U-turns, but people would simply just wait until the end of the barriers to then make the same dangerous U-turn anyway. ODOT says there are 6 signs in place right now, and ODOT cannot add more because it would just create a distraction for drivers. We are told ODOT is creating a frequently asked questions list regarding the new bypass, and that should be up on their website shortly.
It is the hottest day of the summer so far. Most of us certainly feeling the triple digits. To demonstrate just how hot it is, we got a pan of cookies on the dashboard of one of our news cars. We're going to keep checking in on these cookies. Hopefully we can enjoy a fully baked cookie by the end of the show. It looks like it's dropped a little bit. It was 131 in the car, and now it's...
I think someone opened the door.
Oh, they opened the door because it died, I hear. And that's what our producers are telling us. Okay, so it looks like it's about 130 in there right now. We'll see.
After the break, a closer look at the national program aimed at partnering at-risk kids with law enforcement, and it's been a success.
The Overstock sale is happening now at Great American Furniture Warehouse. Our Redmond location is full and we need to make some room. Find great buys throughout the store. Come down to Great American Furniture Warehouse today.
From your daily commuter to hitting the trails on the weekend or cruising around town, at Bend Electric Bikes, we're the local experts. With a complete working knowledge of everything electric bikes, we'll set you up with a perfect e-bike and all the gear. Plus, our service department will help keep your bike in tip-top condition. Whatever your style, we have an e-bike right for you. Come in for a test ride or rental today. Book online or stop by the shop. Bend Electric Bikes, end of the breezeway by Mirror Pond Plaza.
See the best of Redmond window treats at the all-new Hunter Douglas Gallery on Canal Boulevard. Live comfortably and save energy with beautifully designed shades that keep you warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Our shades don't just look good. Every project is carefully thought out to enhance your living space. Come see the possibilities for yourself or call to schedule a consultation. Redmond Window Treats, serving all of Central Oregon with custom draperies, shutters, shades, blinds, and more.
The best part for me is to get my clients to a position where they can once again find gainful employment, once again physically work their jobs or run their businesses, once again put food on the table, keep a roof over their head. They can fish, they can hunt, they can golf, they can bike, whatever their joy is. Because ultimately, the meaning of life is happiness. And how do we find happiness? Is through health.
Dwyer Williams Churkos, on your side at every step of the way. Injured and need help?
Go to roydwyer.com. The Overstock Sale is happening now at Great American Furniture Warehouse. Our Redmond location is full and we need to make some room. Find great buys throughout the store. Come down to Great American Furniture Warehouse today.
PAR, family owned since 1930. Go where the builders go.
What are you? Tonight, we're taking a closer look at a nationwide program trying to reduce crime.
It does this by bringing together police and at-risk kids. Jerika Duncan explains Clippers and Cops.
What Caden Weeks first discovered on the track is a lesson he's learned even better off of it. That getting to this finish line would require him to focus and not look back.
Where my mama at? Come here. I love you. Love me too, son.
Take me back to where you were a year and a half ago. You and Caden are going through it.
That's an understatement. I didn't believe in consequences.
But consequences came in March of 2023. Atlanta's gang and SWAT unit arrested Caden and 3 others on multiple felony charges, including illegal gun possession and street gang activity. Caden was looking at up to 20 years behind bars.
You call your mom and you say what?
Like, Mama, I'm in jail. She started breaking down crying.
His mother, Tamika, says she spent all of her savings, $8,000, to make bail.
Next day, Clippers and Cops. And that changed everything.
It's not just us, it's all of us.
For the last 6 years, Clippers and Cops has been bringing together police and the community. The intention is to meet in a place where kids feel most comfortable. And here, that place is the barbershop.
If you stay, you're going to learn something.
Retired police officer Ty Dennis says he was inspired to start the nonprofit after working in Atlanta's gang unit for 10 years.
We can't arrest our way out of some of these problems. We can't keep doing the same things, and that's basically what Clippers and Cops is, something different. We're not saying it's an end all, but it's what we've decided to do to try to make change.
Not only are they in barbershops,
your goals is your roadmap to success.
They're in classrooms. They visited over 50 schools from Missouri to Tennessee and Georgia.
We talk about topics that they want to talk about: decision making, goal setting, do's and don'ts on traffic stops, rap music, prison, and just try to help them do better in interacting with law enforcement.
A recent Gallup poll found that close to 7 in 10 adults in this country say they are confident in their local police. But when you break it down by race, that number drops to 56% for Black Americans. Programs like Clippers and Cops can improve relationships between police and those they're sworn to protect, creating more trust, an improved sense of community, and a decrease in crime of up to 22%.
That's what kids need to see. They need to see that this is what people that look like me can do, will do, and are willing to do for me.
At Caden's graduation, Ty was there.
On behalf of Clippers and Cops, we wanted to present this to you.
With another important piece of paper.
Yes, sir.
The one saying prosecutors decided not to move forward and drop all charges.
That's good, dog. Thank you, man.
He had to go execute the plan. If they fall down, they're able to get back up and get their life back on track.
Back on track because Clippers and Cops instilled in Caden one of the most important lessons of life. It's not how you start, but how you finish. Jerika Duncan in Atlanta.
Wow. Great program.
Incredible
Great program.
Story.
Show a kid that you care. Show a kid he's not alone. Show a kid that there's something out there other than a gang family.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, and that
Yeah.
moment when he saw that the prosecutors dropped the charges,
Right.
right? All that hard work that he'd been putting in.
Huge.
Really
All right.
incredible.
Darrell's got your forecast when we come back.
Helping your teen live vape-free starts with you. Get free self-paced online learning, how-to articles, and more at sharedfuturecoalition.org/livevapefree and start the conversation today.
At
At Changing Smiles Denture Center, we know your smile is unique to you. That's why we're here to listen and understand your specific needs. Utilizing the latest and most innovative techniques, our on-site lab and milling facility allows us to customize a stronger, better fitting, more lifelike denture. And with all our dentures made in-house, we can customize them to your exact specification. Call for a free consultation and see how a Changing Smiles milled digital denture can improve your life.
Give your home or business the shine it deserves with Sage Window Cleaning. We'll bring back the sparkle on even the toughest glass projects, inside and out, including screens, tracks, and solar panels, backed by a 7-day rain warranty. Plus, we offer a no-mess gutter cleaning and landscape-friendly pressure washing to restore the beauty of your home, deck, and driveway. We guarantee you'll love the results. Sage Window Cleaning, rated 5 stars on Google. Get a free instant quote today at sagewindowcleaning.com.
Skip the guesswork of your next flooring project with Direct Flooring Center. Choose from a variety of flooring styles like Smart Strand or Revwood. We get our inventory in bulk, which means we offer the best price, the largest selection, and quality installation. Serving Oregon since 1996. Family owned and operated. Direct Flooring Center. Request a free measure today.
Want to talk to your teen about vaping but don't know where to start? Get free guidance, education, and the tools to help you succeed at sharedfuturecoalition.org/livevapefree and start the conversation today.
Central Oregon Daily Weather is brought to you by Central Oregon Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electric.
Hey everyone, we are back and it's time for weather. Right now you are looking at the live cookie cam. That's right, it's so hot outside that we're actually seeing what we could do to bake some cookies inside of a car. And right now the internal temperature of that car is 123 degrees. And across the high desert, the temperatures are just well into the triple digits for most. There are some 90s out there, but when we look at this picture that was sent in by our friends at Connect Central Oregon, this was taken this morning. Someone put a drone up in the air and grabbed this snapshot. It's a panoramic, and so through sunrise there was a little bit of haze across the Tri-County area, but it was mild. Temperatures were in the 60s and some 50s. Now here through today it really heated up with only some clouds. The next couple of days even more sunshine, but look at these temperatures across the Tri-County area. We have triple digits, even as high as 110 degrees in Warm Springs. It's also 105 in Madras and Redmond, 104 in Bend, 102 in Prineville, 100 degrees in Lapine, and 101 in Paulina. There are a couple 90s on the map, and Lapine just dropped down to 99 degrees. So we are on the backside of the day. Cooling is beginning, but with triple digits out there, it doesn't feel like it quite yet. Winds are a little bit breezy at times. That's helping with the temperature, but we broke record high temperatures in Bend, in Redmond, Madras, Prineville, tied a record high in Sun River, and Sisters was just 1 degree off from tying that record high of 99 degrees. So on top of the extreme heat, we also have a red flag warning. This is going to expire at 11 p.m. this evening, and then another one is set to take place or go into effect through the day tomorrow. So by 11 p.m. Wednesday really is when we're going to get out of the high fire weather conditions, high risk for fire weather. And winds are going to be breezy for many of us with very dry conditions. Humidity is low as 7%. On top of that, the excessive heat continues. Now, the next couple of days, a slight dip in temperatures is in the planner, but we have an excessive heat warning, an excessive heat warning through tomorrow at 10 p.m. A heat advisory all the way until 10 p.m. this evening, and in these areas, we're just still looking at triple digits and some 90s. So altogether, we do have some cooling ahead, but this is going to be a modest dip in temperatures. By Wednesday, 90s and some triple digits. In and out clouds are going to be wrapping up, and this hotter air kind of sticks around for a couple of days. Still well above normal for this time of the year, but by Thursday, 90s and a few spots getting into those triple digits. And then by Friday, we're looking at 90s and triple digits again. So we have some roller coaster temperatures, but that heat is just staying with us. It's just not going to be as hot as it was today. So lows for tonight are going to be in the 60s with some 50s. By tomorrow, here's where we're sitting. Mid to upper 90s. Some triple digits expected. Tons of sunshine and winds getting breezy at times. Across the rest of the state, much the same. 90s and triple digits until you hit the coastline. And here's your 7-day planner. We are going to see the 90s continue through Friday, then back up to the century mark, 100 degrees Saturday, and back into the 90s again through early next week.
At Central Oregon Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical, we understand your home is where your life's best moments happen. That's why our licensed electricians are dedicated to keeping your home safe and comfortable. From same-day electrical repairs to panel upgrades, backup generators, and more, quality isn't just a promise, it's our practice. With over 30 years of expertise and 100% no-interest financing, call us for 5-star service and a money-back guarantee today.
Becoming a caregiver for a loved one can be daunting. But with the right resources, you can provide better care for your family. Homestead Bend and Norco have partnered to empower you. At our new training facility in Central Oregon, you can learn hands-on with industry professionals. Equip yourself with the tools, knowledge, and confidence to provide the best care possible. Register for a training session today at homesteadbend.com.
When you're home, you should feel safe. At Blinds Etc., we specialize in creating a sense of privacy and security in your home. Not all window coverings are alike, and when it comes to child safety, personal privacy, and modern designs, we don't cut corners. Blinds Etc. Take comfort in your privacy and give us a call or visit our website for a free in-home estimate.
Less stress with Stress Reducer. Is this helping reduce your stress?
You know, it'd be even better.
Ooh, face massage.
I was gonna say a sale.
At Gills Point S, we do savings, not stress. Our sizzling summer tire sale is on now through July 20th. Save up to $200 on tires from Falcon, Hankook, Nokian, and Nexen.
Fair enough. Ugh.
No stress with Point S.
Let's take a look at your top national and international headlines on this Tuesday evening. President Joe Biden looking to turn a page from his poor debate performance with the kickoff of the NATO summit in Washington, D.C. But some are still questioning whether he should stay in the race or drop out. Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump appears close to naming his vice presidential candidate. Skylar Henry is following both campaigns from the White House.
President Biden is hosting the NATO summit in Washington, D.C., and even the world leaders in town for the event are facing questions about the president's health.
Mr. Prime Minister, do you have any concerns about Biden's age or mental acuity?
Good to see everyone here this morning. Looking forward to a great meeting with this distinguished group of senators.
The president will try to shift focus away from his debate performance and back onto global concerns, such as the war in Ukraine.
As we have said, that Ukraine's future is in NATO.
Here at home, the president appears to have done enough to stop most members of his own party from calling for him to step aside and let another Democrat take over and take on former President Trump.
I think at this point it is, it's a foregone conclusion. The president's going to run and we're going to support him.
Former President Trump, who hasn't appeared in public since the day after the debate, told Fox News Hannity that he too thinks Biden will stay in the race.
It looks to me like he may very well stay in. He's got an ego and he doesn't want to quit.
Trump is reportedly close to naming a running mate with North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum, Florida Senator Marco Rubio, and Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, the apparent leading candidates. He will likely announce his pick before next week's Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. Skylar Henry, the White House.
Talking about the heat again, the high desert, not the only part of the nation experiencing this extreme heat right now. From coast to coast, nearly 160 million Americans are under heat alerts because of the extreme weather. Let's go to Los Angeles, where officials are telling residents to stay out of the water at 14 different beaches because those high temperatures also produce high bacteria levels. Palm Springs will be in the 120s through Thursday. In Arizona, forecasters say temperatures will range from 114 to 118. This after hitting a record-breaking high of 120 over the weekend. And on the East Coast, the oppressive humidity making it feel even hotter. In New York City, the Office of Emergency Management urging residents to be smart with their electricity to avoid brownouts or even blackouts. Johns Hopkins Medical School will be giving free tuition starting in the fall. This all thanks to a $1 billion donation from Bloomberg Philanthropies. Medical students whose families earn less than $300,000 a year will get free tuition, with living expenses and fees also covered for students whose families earn up to $175,000 a year. The gift is aimed at diversifying the healthcare field and making it more accessible to low-income students. Previously, tuition at Johns Hopkins, $65,000 a year. Those are your top headlines for this Tuesday evening. When we come back, more local news and weather.
The Star-Spangled Banner Days are back.
Save big at Oregon's largest in-stock furniture store, like an Emerald Sofa, love seat, and chair, just $19.99.
4th of July savings now at M. Jacobs.
Do you or someone you know deserve to feel more comfortable at home? Cascade Heating and Central Oregon Daily News are teaming up for a comfort giveaway this summer. One deserving local family will get a new high-efficiency Trane heating and cooling system valued at over $10,000. Go to the contests page at centraloregondaily.com to submit a compelling story about you or someone you know in need. Enter our comfort giveaway today. Cascade Heating is an independent Trane dealer. It's hard to stop a Trane.
It's Beatles versus Stones, the greatest debate in rock history. Who's better, the Beatles or the Rolling Stones? Nationally touring tributes Abbey Road and Jumpin' Jack Flash return on Sunday, July 21st at the Tower Theatre. The Beatles versus the Rolling Stones. Tickets at towertheatre.org or call 541-317-0700. Beatles versus Stones, July 21st, brought to you by Central Oregon Daily News.
Okay, ideas. Where are we going?
I got one.
I got one.
What about a comedy show?
I've seen you. I've swiped on you. No. Okay.
Oh, I got an idea.
I feel hungry.
Let's go.
Whatever your vibe,
Tacos.
Definitely tacos.
find it in the all-new, all-hybrid Camry. Toyota, let's go places.
The largest stressless dealer in Oregon is M. Jacobs, with over 1,000 chairs in stock. Find your favorite starting at just $13.99.
And as always, free statewide delivery. M. Jacobs, across from the Ben River Promenade.
California dreaming? Fly RDM.
Welcome to Central Oregon Daily News with David Clue, Genevieve Rayon, and Chief Meteorologist Darrell Wenninger. Central Oregon Daily News starts now.
A Prineville man saved from a top North Sister this weekend. It was on Saturday. A search and rescue team was sent to the Three Sisters Wilderness on the mountain to save a climber who had apparently fallen. Deputies believed he had broken several bones in that fall. He was located and flown to a hospital for medical attention. His name and condition have not been released today.
Months after the initial announcement of the Kroger-Albertsons merger, we now know 3 stores in Central Oregon are impacted. The Albertsons on Highway 97 and Safeway on Highway 20 in Bend are being divested to the grocery chain C&S. The same thing is also happening to the Safeway on Highway 97 in Redmond. Kroger has confirmed with Coin 6 in Portland that they expect these stores to remain open under C&S after the sale goes through.
2 orphaned river otter pups are recovering and being rehabilitated right here in Bend. The nonprofit Think Wild took 2 in after a park ranger found them alone and in need of help at Cove Palisades State Park. These are the first river otters to get care at Think Wild. Aren't they cute? So cute. Yeah, since 2020, in fact, and it's a big job to make sure the otters don't get too used to people.
There's only a few permitted or a few staff that are cleared to spend time in that enclosure, and when they do so, they are in head-to-toe camouflage. They have rain boots, rain pants, a ghillie suit, face mask, face shield, and a hat, all so that the river otters don't associate the smell or sounds or look of a human with being fed.
Oh, that is a big job, isn't it? Think Wild says this is to ensure that the otters maintain the proper behaviors to return to the wild and be able to survive in the wild. Once the pups are stabilized, they'll be moved to a wildlife center in Astoria, which is better equipped to take care of them. Then they'll remain there until they're old enough to return to the wild, and that'll happen right back here in Central Oregon.
What a journey. It is time to give your feedback on the proposed options for the new Hawthorne Avenue pedestrian overcrossing. Tomorrow, the City of Bend is hosting an open house at the Campfire Hotel from 4:30 to 6:30. Project designers and city staff will be on hand to answer questions. They want your input before selecting a final design for the bridge over the Parkway and Railroad. If you can't make it in person, you can also take a look at the same materials online. Just go to the city's website.
An emergency closure of fishing for Chinook salmon on the McKenzie River is now in effect through the end of the year. This is to protect unexpectedly small runs of wild and hatchery fish. Fish counts indicate this could be the lowest return of McKenzie River wild Chinook on record. The same is true for hatchery Chinook.
In fact, we've only got about 75 of them collected, and we need somewhere in the neighborhood of 450. And so leaving the season open for anglers to catch the hatchery fish out there would probably take away from us being able to meet our broodstock needs.
The shortage of hatchery Chinook is being blamed on the death of juvenile fish that were released early, this during the holiday farm fire in 2020. Brooke Snavely, by the way, will dig deeper into the poor returns of McKenzie River salmon on a future edition of The Great Outdoors.
And with the triple-digit temperatures, the Deschutes River was obviously packed today with locals and tourists alike. Let's give you a look at what it looked like around 10 o'clock this morning. Already a decent amount of people right out there floating down, cooling off, and more people only joined as the day moved on.
Speaking of the heat, there they are, our car cookies sitting out in the heat. Now you look at the temperature gauge, it is black, and it's black because the temperature gauge only goes up to 140 degrees. Once it passes that, and it has, by what we understand, is at least 10 degrees, it just shuts itself off. So even the temperature gauge cannot handle the heat, but the cookies seem to be handling it just fine. Some of them we put out there about 2 hours ago. Some of them we put out there about, an hour ago?
2:30. So 2:30 and 4.
2:30 and 4. So we'll see. Hopefully, we'll be eating a cookie here on the set by the end of this show.
Man, I'm going to buy a new temperature gauge, aren't I?
Yeah, we need one that goes above 140.
Yeah.
Oh, man, they're all just record-breaking today. Hottest day of the summer so far.
Yeah, at that 10 o'clock, I was one of the people that was on the river.
Were you?
Oh, yeah, I definitely went out and paddleboard.
A little pre-work float?
Huh? Well, yeah,
I'm
pre-work
impressed.
paddleboard. Let's do it.
Wow.
Okay, well, in the next couple of days, we're still going to need to be doing that. But look at this. Right now across the high desert, it is mostly sunny. There are some clouds. There's even a little bit of haze. You can really see it from this Hoodoo camera at the summit looking towards Washington and Big Lake, I think that is. But you can see some of that haze across the Tri-County area, and that's really because of some small fires that have been starting up for parts of Central Oregon. Our air quality is still in the green. It's still good, but as we go forward through the next couple of days, we're still looking at hot temperatures, still 100 degrees by 7 p.m. By 9, 89. By 11, 81. And look at this. Right now, our temperatures are sitting still in the triple digits with some 90s on the map. So we are going to be cooling down. Just doesn't feel like those temperatures are dropping much at all at the moment. And there's a series of heat-related weather alerts across the state. We have a heat advisory and an excessive heat warning. On top of that, a red flag warning. I'll explain all the details for all those bulletins coming up in just a few minutes.
Trending tonight, a sign of the time. Starting on Monday of next week, Target will no longer accept personal checks. Not even sure if I still have a checkbook, honestly. The retailer says it's shifting toward other digital payment methods like Zelle and Venmo.
That's convenient.
A recent banking survey shows that 1 in 5 people over the age of 66, 1 in 5, still write several checks each month, while half of the people under 55 don't write a single check in an entire year.
Do you write checks?
I don't write checks.
Yeah, I mean, to buy a house or do something like that, or to buy a
maybe
car.
yeah.
Right.
I guess so.
But that's it.
Doing that
I'm not doing it to buy groceries.
Right.
Oh, man. Okay, some may call this the world's slowest race. Nevertheless, in Norfolk, more than 150 snails competed in the World Snail Racing Championships. Yes, that is a thing. The winner, Jeff the Snail, completed this course in, 4 minutes and 3 seconds.
That's it?
That actually seems pretty fast.
I think that snail had legs.
Yeah, I mean, if you're curious, the record was set by a snail named Archie in 1995, who finished the course in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. How do they know to go in the right?
I don't know. They dangle food, and what is food for a snail? I don't know.
All right, every year, top names in the food industry gather to show off the latest and greatest trends in food.
Yeah, love knowing what those are. Michael George does now. He took a bite out of some of those offerings to see what might be headed to the dinner table or even the snack shelf.
That's fantastic. If you're a food lover, this is heaven. It's the Summer Fancy Food Show in New York, where top trends were on the tables. America's snack cravings continue, with a hankering for innovative combinations and international ingredients, like doosra, an Indian snack mix of chickpea flour puffs, peanuts, spices, and white chocolate.
We're trying to bring Indian nostalgia, but I'm combining it with my French culinary background to bring new flavors.
Specialty Food Association President Bill Lynch says elevated home cooking is on trend. People are spicing up their own creations because they're eating out less.
Consumers, with the inflation impact and whatnot, are maybe cutting back on costs in terms of going out to restaurants.
One example, these flavored butters by Aga S'more.
You can cook with the butters. You can put them as a finisher on a steak or a piece of chicken.
Creator Annika Gusterman Amon had a sample cardamom butter.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's really good.
And the heat is on, with hot and spicy ingredients everywhere. Like jerky spicy jerky with a unique texture.
When you take a bite of it, it's the texture of a chip. The fat melts in your mouth, and you still get that beefiness.
You've heard of plant-based meat, but what about squid? We tried these plant-based fried calamari from Beanstalk.
Can you make plant-based seafood?
Yes, you can. Plant-based seafood is actually a long tradition in Asian cuisines.
Toss in a dash of honey, global influences, or anything fruit-forward. All are trending. And whether it's meals, snacks, or beverages, better-for-you products continue to deliver. If you're eager for a taste, you shouldn't have to wait too long. The next stop for some of these fancy foods is your grocery store. Michael George, New York.
Got a coffee shop that needs hardwood.
Got it, sis.
A brewery that needs LVP.
I'm on it.
And a hotel that needs new carpet.
Way ahead of you, sis.
Businesses throughout Central Oregon have trusted I&J Carpet since 1975. Call your local carpet and flooring pros today.
Making our customers
and your customers
happy.
I&J, the Carpet Pros. I&J.
Saxon's Fine Jewelers in the heart of the old mill.
Morning.
Come on in, I'm just getting ready to go.
Did you make your bed?
Yes, I did.
Did you get breakfast?
You bet I did. Tea and toast.
Did you remember to brush your teeth?
I did. Me too fresh.
Lights? Okay, let's get you to work. Come on.
All right.
Oh, one more thing. Did you watch the game last night?
Yes, I did. It was a good game.
People with disabilities may qualify for state-funded support. Call New Horizons.
When concrete around your home sinks, it's never pretty, and it's usually not safe either. Terra Firma has the solution. We can inject safe, expanding foam through a hole smaller than a dime and lift existing concrete sidewalks, steps, patios, and more. Best of all, there's no mess, and you can walk or drive on the repair in just 15 minutes. So for a solution to sinking concrete at a fraction of the cost of replacing it, call Terra Firma for a safe, clean concrete repair.
Get news on the go. Download the Central Oregon Daily News app, powered by Boss Mortgage.
It's the hottest day of the year so far, so we decided to treat our little sweet tooth here. We're baking some cookies in the car now. There is a temperature gauge in there, thermometer, but it shuts off at 140, so we don't quite know how hot it is in the car, and you can see those cookies doing their thing. But let's look at temperatures across the Tri-County area. It's just hot pretty much everywhere you go, with temperatures well into the triple digits from Paulina to Prineville at 100 degrees. It's right now 104 in Bend, 105 in Redmond, 103 in Madrid, Madras and 109 in Warm Springs. Earlier, it did get up to 110 for a little bit, and we have 90s on the east slopes of the Cascades, with that lowest temperature being Sun River at 91. It's also 96 in Sisters and 99 degrees in La Pine. And when we look at some of those high temperatures, the record highs, the almanac for today, we shattered a record high in Bend. It's the same in Redmond. We got up to 107 in both Redmond and Madras. Now, Prineville just barely broke that record high temperature, and Sun River tied a record. Sisters was 1 degree off. And the next couple of days will not be as hot as we had today, but some triple digits are still expected. When we look outside, it is mostly sunny, and those clouds aren't bringing any rain, not helping too much at all, and we do see a lot of haze. Now, there is a red flag warning in effect until 11 p.m. this evening, and then another one goes into effect by tomorrow afternoon through 11 p.m. Wednesday, and that's because of breezy winds, low humidity values, and temperatures are going to be dipping back down into the 90s with some triple digits still possible, but we still have a series of heat-related weather alerts across the entire state, including a heat advisory for the east slopes of the Cascades and an excessive heat warning for our lower elevations for portions of the Tri-County area. And that warning is going until 10 p.m. Wednesday. The heat advisory is set to expire later this evening, but we're just talking 90s and triple digits, and those temperatures are going to still be relevant through the day tomorrow, with temperatures topping out of the 90s and some triple digits expected. So that brings us to our dog walking forecast. This is Scout. Dan sent this picture in. I believe they were up at Sutter Lake, and Scout is cool enough in the water. Now tonight, temperatures don't go very far. 68 by 7 a.m. So still 100 by 7 p.m. And then through the day tomorrow, we're topping out in the mid to upper 90s. Some triple digits are possible, but again, nowhere near as hot as it was today. Still well above normal for this time of the year. And as we go forward through the next couple of days, we just stay sunny across the Tri-County area. There's no rain in sight, and temperatures are still going to be well above normal for this time of the year, even with our modest dip in temps through the next couple of days. So for tonight, temperatures fall back into the 60s with a few 50s. By tomorrow, mid to upper 90s, some triple digits expected. And here's that 7-day planner. We are expecting temperatures to come back down into the 90s for several days, with some triple digits possible. Those red temperatures are a record high, so still near record high temperatures. And Saturday, we're peaking again at triple digits.
You're listening to RBA FM, your #1 source for tips and tricks on home improvement. This just in. Brand new summer savings from Renewal by Andersen. We're talking buy one, get one 50% off on all windows and doors. Not to mention $300 off your entire project. And chill out with 0% financing for the first 12 months. As the summer's heating up, keep your home cool and comfortable with Renewal by Andersen windows and doors.
Right now with Papa Murphy's, we've got a great deal.
Which means I make more great pizza.
Get select large thin crust pizzas for $8.99. Papa Murphy's. We make great pizza so you can make the pizza great.
Such a great deal.
$8.99. That is a great deal.
Bring on the summer.
Custom order discounts available now at Patio World. Save 10 to 20% on qualifying custom orders. Choose from our vast selection of lounge and dining sets, and tailor your outdoor living space to your personal style. Crafted with quality that lasts a lifetime. Visit Patio World today and save with custom order discounts.
Shine the fly away. Bring on the summer.
Subaru Events Summer Kickin' Concerts presented by Central Oregon Daily News brings you 38 Special, July 16th.
Hey everybody, we're 38 Special. Listen, we can't wait to rock General Duffy's Waterhole in Redmond, Oregon on Tuesday, July 16th. So grab your tickets now at generalduffys.com.
Performing live on the Madras Marine stage. Come early for the Base X Solutions VIP party. Tickets on sale now at generalduffys.com.
Right now with Papa Murphy's, we've got a great deal.
Which means I make more great pizza.
Get select large thin crust pizzas for $8.99. Papa Murphy's. We make great pizza so you can make the pizza great.
Such a great deal.
$8.99. That is a great deal.
Taste This on Central Oregon Daily News is brought to you by Newport Avenue Market and Oliver Lemons.
It is salmon season in the Columbia River, and we have direct access to freshly caught fish right here in Bend.
Such a nice perk to living here, isn't it? Our Emily Kirk got to visit with the folks at Newport Avenue Market to learn more about what's available in town this summer.
here today to talk about seafood and some options for the summer. I mean, what could be better, right?
Yeah, good grilling. Salmon's in full season right now.
Totally, okay.
Yes, a lot of fresh fish, halibut, salmon.
Got a lot.
It's a fresh bay shrimp.
And a whole lot more. There are many ways you can add seafood into your diet. They can come in many forms, right? You can prepare your salmon and cook it however you'd like. An easy option for something to take with you to the park would be something like a dip.
Yes, we've been making this salmon dip for over 25 years. It's a nice European lox, cream cheese, a little green onions, and our secret special spices.
Yeah, there's got to be a secret in there if it's been around for more than 2 decades. Okay, so a salmon cream cheese spread, yum.
And these are a nice Beecher's Northwest manufactured cracker made up in Pike Place Market up in Seattle, Washington.
There are other types of fish you can grab and take to your gathering to share, like a variety of lox, smoked salmon, or even smoked tuna. Are there any other options up in the case that are things that are like salads?
There is. We have an excellent shrimp ceviche that we make. Great for picnics. Take it out to the river, just pick it, put it on ice, serve with corn chips. It's ready to go.
So how do you make the ceviche here?
Ceviche is just a little shrimp, a little bit of crab meat, some Anaheim peppers, some jalapeno peppers, cucumber, tomato, cilantro, and lime juice.
Ooh, that lime
A little bit of garlic and onion.
Sure, yeah. And it is that kind of that freshness that you're looking for.
Yeah, you get the heat of the peppers with the coolness of the cucumber to follow at the end.
Also available in the case out front are beautiful fillets of different kinds of fish. The meat department at Newport Avenue Market is picky about the quality and serves only the best.
This is a beautiful
Holy
Chinook
smokes.
salmon.
Whoa.
Right out of the Columbia Run, tribal
Wow.
caught. Try to support the local tribes as best we can. Came out of right past the Bonneville Dam. It looks beautiful. Nice clear eyes. Things to look for. Fins aren't dried out. You don't see any gaff marks where they picked it up, with a hook or anything.
Okay.
Looks very good. Probably a clean river run because you don't see a lot of spawning like it's been hanging out in the fresh water at all.
Oh, okay.
You'll see a red, stripes usually. We'll get some redness in here. Scales look beautiful. I think this is a wonderful fish.
So how often are you getting the fish in?
We get these 3 times a week.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so when was this in the Columbia River?
I'm going to probably say, by looking at it, I'd say 2 days ago.
Wow. So that is fresh.
It is fresh, yes.
And we didn't even have to drive up there to go get it. It came to
No,
us.
you didn't, although it would have been fun to land this.
Yeah, true. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, how many pounds is it?
This guy right here is 16 pounds.
Mike has been doing this for decades. Filleting a fish like this can take a lot of practice and precision.
We're going to go in here. We're just going to remove this fin. This is why I wear this glove right here. So once we get that done, then we're just going to come over here. It's very simple. Almost anybody could do this. You're just going to come along the back right here. And this is, once again, see why I wear the glove.
Yeah.
Yep. We're going to come in underneath, get underneath that collar right there, down to the bone.
The collar.
And once we get, this is the collar right in there. I'm going to come a little closer. And I'm going to come up under here. I'm going to get right against these bones. Apply even pressure as I come down.
He carefully slides his sharp knife along to get beautiful, large pieces of fish. Do you save any of the fins or the collars or anything?
Yes, we do.
You do?
We have people who come and buy these. Some of this I'll scrape off too for these little ends and pieces, like salmon patties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have a nice little salmon patty that we make, generally made out of the ends and pieces and some of the trim off in here.
Gotcha.
But yeah, all the fish is used, yes.
That's fantastic.
Some people buy the fish heads and the bones for stocks. See how I'll run that knife and get in here, and I'm gonna get all the way down to the end.
Oh, that's
and when
gorgeous.
I come off, it's a beautiful piece of fish.
That
right there.
red color.
And then I have very little left on here.
Some pieces are trimmed to give you a Chinook salmon to take home.
This is obviously ate a lot of krill and other types of red crustaceans. You get some that'll be a little lighter color. All that means is they ate a lot of squid and a lot of herring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some people say, what's wrong with it? There's nothing wrong with it. It's just that's the fish just like the diet a little bit better.
You'll find a quality seafood option for whatever your taste may be, and you can put in special orders too at Newport Avenue Market in Bend. For another edition of Taste This, I'm Emily Kirk.
And a big thanks, as always, to Newport Avenue Market in Bend and Oliver Lemons and Sisters in Terrebonne for giving us the resources to take these weekly culinary adventures. We'll be right back after a quick break.
Step right this way for the biggest show of local meats in town. See it teeter, see it totter, see it exploding with flavor at Newport Avenue Market.
One market, a gazillion wonders with everything you need.
From grab-and-go lunches to gourmet dinners and more, our deli is a veritable foodie funhouse. See it to believe it at Newport Avenue Market.
One market, a gazillion wonders, with everything you need.
High Desert Chamber Music launches its first ever celebrity recital with one of America's foremost violinists, Stefan Jakib, July 28th in Bend. Get tickets now at highdesertchambermusic.com. If you have chronic kidney disease, you can reduce the risk of kidney failure with Farxiga, because there are places you'd like to be. Farxiga can cause serious side effects, including ketoacidosis that may be fatal, dehydration, urinary tract or genital yeast infections, and low blood sugar. A rare life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Farxiga and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this infection, an allergic reaction, or ketoacidosis.
Your diamond ring still has that original sparkle because you clean and care for it. Your granite countertop needs the same, and only Permatreat has the solution. To return the luster, we'll professionally clean and sterilize, then seal your countertops for the last time. Your granite will regain its beauty and repel dirt, stains, and bacteria. We guarantee that for life. You take care of your diamond, let us take care of your granite countertop. For a free estimate, call Permatreat today, 541-388-4222.
Get ready for the Bi-Mart Deschutes County Fair and Rodeo presented by Indian Head Casino. The Kindle Toyota of Band Free Summer Concert Series includes The Fray, Billy Currington, Young Gravy, Lil Kim with Bow Wow, Banda Los Ricaditos, and more. Experience thrilling rides, indulge in delicious fair food, and witness the excitement of the Coastal Farm and Ranch NPRA Championship Rodeo. Don't miss the sea lions, farm animals, and nightly drone show. Tickets are on sale now at DeschutesFair.com. Get yours today. The Deschutes County Fair and Rodeo, back and better than ever.
High Desert Chamber Music launches its first ever celebrity recital with one of America's foremost violinists, Stefan Jakib, July 28th in Bend. Get tickets now at highdesertchambermusic.com.
Hey, look, it's the car. Wait, there's a cookie missing.
Yeah, I got hungry.
No. But what you need to look at in that live shot is the crumbles.
I know.
Where that missing cookie is. And let's come to the studio. Here is said cookie, and you guys.
I know.
I think it's cooked.
I think it is too.
So it's hard. It's either stale or
it's
cooked.
hard, and there's melted chocolate on the bottom.
We'll try it.
All right. I don't need that big a piece.
Oh, no, it's cooked. It's cooked.
It's a tiny bit gooey on the bottom.
It's still warm and soft.
You know, that is the way a lot of people like their cookies.
Okay.
Egg free.
So this is the one that was in there. This is the one that was in there at 2:30. So
Right.
it's been in there 3:30, 4:30, 5:30,
Right.
3.5 hours.
And we're saying that the car
140
got
degrees.
to about 140, 150.
Well, the
There you
sensor
go.
broke at 140.
Hot
so
enough
there
to
is
cook
that.
a cookie.
Have a good night. See you at 11.
Life is a blank canvas. Find your inspiration at Rescued Living in Sisters. Discover unique decor suited for any room in your home, from your kitchen to the living room. Character and charm lie around every corner. Find gifts for you.
Finally, tonight's Heart of America. Meet a Miami student who knows how to keep a promise. From pre-K through 12th grade, Keith Holmes Jr. never missed a day of school, thanks to a pact that he made with his late father. After Keith's father died in 2018, he stuck to his promise and also completed nearly 5,000 hours of community service. Keith says working with children with disabilities puts everything in perspective.
I had a village of people behind me. Put your mind to it. Do it. Keep your faith and have determination and perseverance and never give up.
Keith Holmes Jr.'s He's tonight's Heart of America. And that's tonight's CBS Evening News. Good night.